こんにちは、VICEの友です。今回紹介するのは VICE のタリバン講座。アフガニスタンとパキスタンのですね、狭間にあるペシャーワルという場所で、両国のタリバンがですね、存在していて、彼らが日夜住民を脅かしているということで、今回 VICE が入って調べてきました。テロ誘拐発砲が当たり前の現地で、タリバン最前線を追った今回の映像、2つのタリバンの見分け方、爆弾テロ犯の育て方、そんなところが見どころになっています。社会の勉強にもなりますね。チャンネル登録忘れずに。
Whenever Pakistan comes on the news these days, the context is either floods, the Taliban, political assassinations, or violence at the hands of suicide bombers. We wanted to see it for ourselves, so we got on a plane and flew to Peshawar. It's a city right on the border of the tribal areas, a lawless region sandwiched between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Back in 2006, we came to the region to film a story about the largest illegal gun market in the world in a town called Dara Adam Khail. Our host was a guy named Naim Afridi, who was the director of protocol for the provincial government.
If everybody come to my side, I will definitely kill him.
On the recent trip, we called Naim again, and as soon as we met, he explained that things in Pakistan, and Peshawar specifically, had spiraled downward into a cesspool of militancy and fundamentalism.
Bomb blast, terrorism, kidnapping, shooting, this take place here from last so many years, you see.
You know, I was here 4 years ago and it was totally different.
Yeah.
And now everyone's scared.
But Peshawar is a peaceful place, but these bloody terrorism destroy the peace of this land.
We drove to the Pearl Continental Hotel, the same place we stayed on our last visit. So that's the driveway coming into the hotel. There was a car that drove in very fast, and there was a bomb blast here 6 months ago. And 4 years ago, those little walls didn't exist, and there were about, 25 to 30 armed guards inside this compound. I feel like I'm the only person staying here. After 9/11, the US bombed the hell out of Afghanistan and toppled the Taliban. The remaining soldiers scrambled over the porous border into the tribal areas of Pakistan, and that's where they started to plot their comeback. What a lot of people don't realize is that because of all of this, a second Taliban movement was formed called the Pakistani Taliban, or Taliban. You know, there's two Talibans, the one in Afghanistan and the one in Pakistan, and the ones here have created a lot of fear in Peshawar. This is the office for the news. It's one of the largest newspapers in the country. We're here to meet Rahimullah Yousafzai. He is the most respected journalist in the country. He was the first guy to ever go visit with the Taliban and interview them. And he was one of the last guys to ever get an interview with Osama bin Laden, who he's interviewed twice. And he's regarded as the foremost authority on the Taliban. And he's made some time to meet with us. Could you explain the difference between the Afghani Taliban and the Pakistani Taliban?
The Pakistani Taliban were inspired by the Afghan Taliban. They have the same worldview. The Pakistani Taliban looked to the Afghan Taliban for leadership. The Pakistani Taliban were happy to fight in Afghanistan until the Pakistan government and army, under US pressure, started action against them in Pakistan. Then they started looking inwards. They began fighting the Pakistani state. So I think their main battle now is in Pakistan.
So, buddy, this road looks familiar. We've been on it before when we went to Dara, to the gun markets.
Yeah.
And so, why can't we go into the tribal areas?
This is already a risk because this area is totally dominated with Taliban factors. So many bomb blasts took place in these areas.
We're driving up to a site where there was a bomb blast. The Taliban tried to kill the police. It's a checkpoint. I'm standing here on the border of the tribal areas, and just 4 kilometers that way is the gun market where we filmed 4 years ago. That area has been taken over by the Taliban. And these guys here, they battle with the Taliban on a regular basis.
हम जागे होते हैं रात को फायरिंग वगैरह भी करते रहते हैं तो हमारे ऊपर फिर ये है कि ज़्यादा वो करीब नहीं आ सकता टेक्निकल अमूमन हम इसको काबू करते हैं यहाँ से तालिबान
अच्छा इसका नाम क्या है
इसको दुशाका पोस्ट
बोलते
दुशाका
दुशाका उन्होंने दर में ये नहीं बनाया
दर में इसकी नकल बनती है लेकिन यहाँ पे
So they're saying in Dara they do knock off this gun, but this one has come from abroad.
लाके
Locked it.
लाके
Okay, it's definitely locked. I won't shoot the farmer on the tractor. Are ye कहाँ का बना हुआ है?
ये रूस
अच्छा Russian.
पहला रशियन उसके बाद जो ना पाकिस्तान ने
अच्छा 1986.
हाँ
So this was built in 1986. This is a very important piece of history here because this is where all the problems stem from. When the Soviets invaded Afghanistan, they came in and there was a lot of leftover Russian artillery. And since that time, this Kalashnikov culture has been pervading Pakistan.
طالبانو سره دا سیټونه یې کنه او نو مطلب دی چې موږ سره دا واړه سیټونه دي هغه کمیونیکیشن زیات نشي کم دی دې کوم تیز موږ لا پکار دی چې تیز موږ سره صاحب हम ये जो है ना इसी पोजीशन में खड़े हैं कि जो है ना धमाके भी होते हैं हमारे जवान भी जो है ना खड़े हैं शहीद होते हैं बाकी तनख्वाह कम है तनख्वाह हाँ तो अगर इस पर कोई गौर किया जाए तो फिर बेहतर होगा सर
So overall, it's pretty heavy vibes around here. They're scanning, suspicious looking people and trying to find guns, explosives and whatnot. There was a single bomb blast that blew up the market over there, the mosque behind me, the armored vehicle over there, and the police station. And about 50 people died. One of the guys who died was wearing this bulletproof jacket. And the soldier who died, they buried him right here. Yikes. That freaks me out. All kinds of shit falling out of it. आपका राय क्या है तालिबान के
राय
बारे में?
तो वो हमारे मुखालिफ है वो हमारे दुश्मनी समझते हैं हाँ हमें काफिर समझते हैं कि ये लोग काफिर है हम वो कहते हैं कि हम मुसलमान हैं वो हमारे साथ उसका रवैया सही नहीं है हमें नुकसान और बंदे हमारे शहीद होते हैं ऐसे
So the Taliban target the police here because they're saying that they're infidels, they're anti-Muslim, they're friends of the West, they're collaborators, and that's why they become targets. When in reality they're practicing Muslims. It's ridiculous. तो जो terrorists थे, वो उनकी उम्र क्या था और कितने थे?
लेकिन उमूमन इन लोगों की उम्र ये 18 से 25 साल तक होती है.
Good luck. Name's telling me it's time to go. I'm pushing my luck here. Okay.
I think that suicide bombing and the use of IEDs, improvised explosive devices, that's the two most effective weapons now available with militants in this part of the world. The young people who agree to become suicide bombers, I think their numbers are really big. They can even afford to send bombers to attack insignificant targets. They're all willing to die. I remember one of the Afghan Taliban commanders, he claimed once that he had about 5,000 suicide bombers. The way they recruit people, the way they brainwash them, that is very effective. In fact, I remember once receiving a phone call from Qari Hussain, the master trainer of suicide bombers. So he said, I can turn the young man into a suicide bomber in half an hour. And I said, how come? He said, it's very easy because there is so much anger among Muslims against America, against the allies of the Western countries, like the Pakistani state, Pakistani army. He said, our villages have been attacked, our women and children have been killed. So we can very easily motivate these families to supply us fighters and suicide bombers. And he then told me that you are an old man, but if you sit with me for half an hour, I can turn you into a suicide bomber. So he's so confident of what he is doing.
हजार हजार सालां दी पुता सुख दयालो The Taliban puts out videos like this. They used to be available in shops around Peshawar, but when I went to buy them, all I could find was Bollywood and pornography. So I got my local cameraman to put out some feelers, and a militant ended up delivering a flash drive to my hotel that was full of these videos glorifying suicide bombers and successful missions and executions.